When you hear the word vampire, what comes to your mind? People who look like humans but drink human blood. Those who are afraid of sunlight and sleep inside coffins. That's exactly what we've seen in movies since childhood. But is that really true? One day, a few teenagers living in Florida arrived at a police station to file a missing person report for their friend. They claimed that their friend Sarah was supposed to go out with them the previous day. But she never showed up at the decided time, and since the day before, her phone had been switched off. No one knew where she had suddenly disappeared. The police were still registering the complaint when a strange call came to the station. From the phone came the sound of someone crying and screaming. Even after repeatedly asking, the police got no response. So, they decided to trace the number and go investigate the matter. Tracing the phone led them several kilometers away from Florida. But they still couldn't find the exact location of the call. Just then, two officers sitting in the van, Brad and Derek, saw someone lying on the side of the road. They quickly got out of the van and went toward the unconscious person. That unconscious girl was none other than Sarah herself. Her friends had already given the police a photo when filing the report, so the officers recognized her immediately. Sarah's body had turned pale blue, and blood was oozing from her left arm. The police picked her up and rushed her to the hospital as quickly as possible. After examining her, the doctors told the police that blood had been continuously drawn from Sarah's body for 2 days, and that's why she had become so weak. At first, it seemed like a case related to kidnapping or crime. But then the doctors revealed something that shocked everyone. 3 of her teeth were missing. There were burn marks on her hands. And something was written on her back in an unknown language. After seeing all this, Brad and Derek were convinced that Sarah had been kidnapped by a very dangerous group. Brad gave Derek some samples collected from Sarah's clothes and told him to extract as much information as possible. That very night, Brad himself went out for further investigation. After driving for about an hour, he reached a forest far away from the city. He had reached the same area where they had earlier found Sarah. He started walking further along that path, but after some time, he found himself back at the same spot where he had started. He couldn't understand what was happening to him. Just then, he saw a group of strange-looking people covered in blood approaching his vehicle. Their faces looked terrifying, and they were slowly moving toward Brad. Brad was terrified. He panicked, grabbed his gun from the back seat, and fired toward them. But to his shock, there was no one there anymore. Before he could escape, a sudden wave of drowsiness hit him, as if someone had cast a spell on him. When Brad regained consciousness, he found himself tied to a table. A tube was inserted into his arm, transferring his blood into a bottle. In front of him sat a boy and a girl. They looked like normal humans, casually talking to each other and eating food. But beside their food lay a bottle filled with blood, which they were taking turns drinking from. Seeing this, Brad was horrified and realized that those two were probably vampires. He looked around the room and saw several items used in black magic rituals. There was also a pile of teeth, used to please dark forces. Now everything made sense to him, including what had happened to Sarah. As night fell, Brad's body had grown extremely weak. Still, mustering his last bit of strength, he managed to untie his hands and escape from that house. Outside, he found a telephone booth, from where he called the police station. Luckily, Derek answered the call. Brad was trying to tell him everything. But Derek couldn't hear Brad's voice properly. Instead, he heard the sounds of someone crying and screaming. Derek immediately traced the call and rushed to that location. Not far from there, he found Brad, lying in the same place where they had earlier found Sarah. Derek quickly took Brad to the hospital. But within moments, Brad passed away. Meanwhile, Sarah also couldn't survive for long, and died from severe blood loss. After these incidents, Derek began investigating that area day and night. Eventually, deep inside the forest, he found a small mud house, outside of which stood a broken telephone booth. The house appeared empty. When Derek and his team searched it thoroughly, they discovered that behind all this was a secret group of vampires, who were trying to keep themselves alive by drinking human blood and performing black magic rituals. After that day, no more such cases were reported in Florida. But even today, stories about vampires like these exist all over the world. This story is based on a true incident. But what do you think? Do you believe in vampires? Let us know in the comments below.